Well, I think that there are very differing viewpoints on this question, obviously, and I do think that both sides can make a reasonable case. On the one hand, Joe Biden is basically saying that a moderate, someone who can resonate with blue-collar workers, centrist voters, particularly in key swing states, is going to be best positioned to court those more moderate voters and disaffected Republicans. On the other hand, Bernie Sanders is trying to make the case that if you don't excite the base, if you don't get liberals to show out, generate kind of unprecedented turnout, then there's also no way that Democrats are going to beat Donald Trump. So, I think that both sides can make a reasonable argument on that front.
Thomas, some of the reports were concerning about the very last-minute decisions Democrats were making as they were heading to Super Tuesday, that they was really just coming down to the wire, and many felt like they didn't have the perfect candidate. What do you make of that after all of the last couple of years debating how the Democrats lost to President Trump, that they still don't have the perfect candidate at this point?
Yeah, well, I think that they're going to basically have to go with what they have at this point. I do think that Joe Biden could make a really good candidate to go up against Trump. I think that he speaks to centrist voters. I think he speaks to moderate voters. And I think that he can appeal to a lot of individuals in those key battleground states that are ultimately going to determine the outcome of the election. But of course, there's no perfect candidate, and there's always going to be some second guessing and some Monday morning quarterbacking about who should be the nominee and who would be best positioned to beat Donald Trump.
Thomas, I mean, from the policies that are out there, I mean, one thing that's striking is pretty much all of the Democratic candidates are talking about tax hikes and things that from a market perspective are not seen as very positive. So while there may be more palatable for Biden to come through, what do we need to think about from how that policy evolution may look like once it is one-on-one between either Sanders or Biden and Trump?
Yeah, that's absolutely a great question. And I think that economic issues, broadly are going to be a core issue of this campaign. Certainly, Sanders has more of an interventionist approach, thinks that expansions of government in key areas of policy is best for helping particularly lower income workers and middle income workers. Joe Biden probably would be less interventionist on that front. But, just between now and the election, also fluctuations in the economy, unforeseen events, as we've seen with the coronavirus and the effects that that's had on the stock market, that could also play a significant role, I think, between now and election.
Thomas, can I ask you about the money? Because Klobuchar's campaign ground to a halt, it seems, because she just didn't have the funding to go on. Biden has talked a lot about getting the financial support, but the reality is it hasn't really come in as yet. Are we sure that that money is there to be available to him to continue his campaign, given that we know Bloomberg has plenty of firepower of his own if he needs it?
Certainly, Bloomberg has money to burn because he's self-financing his campaign. I do think that with some of the other candidates dropping out, including Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, and potentially Elizabeth Warren after this evening, depending on what decision she makes, there probably will be a consolidation of money behind what's perceived as the establishment choice, and that's Joe Biden. So I think between now and the rest of the campaign, he can expect the fundraising dollars to flow more than they have up until this point.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.